We'll sing a Vaishnav bhajan. It's by Jiva Goswami. This is the this is the only song that I'm aware. Maybe there are more songs, but this is the only song that I'm aware by Jiva Goswami. It's called Yugal Ashtakam, glorification of Radha and Krishna. Krishna Premamai Radha Radha Premamayo Hari Krishna Premamai Radha Radha Premamayo Hari Devanena Dhane Nityam Jivanena Dhane Nityam Radha Krishna Gati Mamaha Krishna Radha Krishna Gati Mamaha Krishnasya Dravinam Radha Radhaya Dravinam Hari Krishnasya Dravinam Radha Radhaya Dravinam Jivanena dhane nityam Jivanena Krishna gati mama, Krishna pranamayi Radha, Radha pranamayo Hari. Pranamayo Hari. Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama, Krishna dravamayi Radha, Radha dravamayo Hari. Krishna dravamayi Radha, Radha dravamayo Hari. Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama, Krishna gehe sthita Radha, Radha gehe sthito Hari. Krishna gehe sthito Radha, Radha gehe sthito Hari. Jivane nidhane nityam, Jivane nidhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama, Krishna chitta sthita Radha, Radha chitta sthito Hari. Krishna chitta sthito Radha, Radha chitta sthito Hari. Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama, Nilambar dhara Radha, Pitambara dharo Hari. Nilambara dhara Radha, Pitambara dharo Hari. Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara. Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Krishna Gati Mama, Krishna Premamayi Radha, Radha Premamayo Hari, Krishna Premamayi Radha, Radha Premamayo Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Krishnasya Dravinam Radha, Radhaya Dravinam Hari, Krishnasya Dravinam Radha, Radhaya Dravina Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari, Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari, Jivane Nidhane Nityam, Jivane Nidhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Krishna Dravamayi Radha, Radha Dravamayo Hari, Krishna Dravamayi Radha, Radha Dravamayo Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Krishna Gehe Sthita Radha, Radha Gehe Sthito Hari, Krishna Gehe Sthita Radha, Radha Gehe Sthito Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Krishna Chitta Sthita Radha, Radha Chitta Sthito Hari, Krishna Chitta Sthita Radha, Radha Chitta Sthito Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Nilambara Dhara Radha, Pitambara Dharo Hari, Nilambara Dhara Radha, Pitambara Dharo Hari, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Jivanena Dhane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Radha Krishna Gati Mama, Vrindavan Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivanena dhane nityam, Jivanena dhane nityam, Radha Krishna gati mama, Radha Krishna gati mama. This is called Yugala Ashtakam. Sorry, somehow my voice is not coming from my throat. Something is going on. Radha is made of pure love for Krishna, and Hari is made of pure love for Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha Krishna Gati Mamaha means my greatest wealth. Radha is the treasure of Krishna, and Hari is the treasure of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha pervades the life force um, of Krishna, and Hari pervades the life force of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is totally melted. Krishna Drava Mahi Radha. Drava means molten. Radha is totally melted with Krishna, and Hari is totally melted with Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is situated in the body of Krishna and Prana. Radha is situated in the body of Krishna, and Hari is situated in the body of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha Chitta Mayo Hari. Krishna Chitta Mayo Radha. Chitta means heart, fixed in the heart. Radha is fixed in the heart of Krishna, and Hari is fixed in the heart of Radha. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Then um, 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 Nilambar. Radha wears the cloth of blue color. Uh, uh, she wears the blue sari. For this reason, for the pleasure of Gopijana Vallabha, on Sri Krishna Janmashtami, we order a dark blue dress because that's the color that Srimati Radharani wears most of the time, because that color reminds her of Krishna, because Krishna is dark blue, like bluish blackish. So that's the color we chose for Janmashtami, because it reminds her, and if she is happy, then Gopijana Vallabha will be happy. Um, so Radha wears cloth of blue color, and Hari wears cloth of yellow color, pitambar. Um, and the reason Hari wears yellow gold color, because Radharani is golden complexion. That's why he wears uh, uh, yellow gold cloth, and that's why Radharani wears deep blue sari with the pink blouse she wears. Life's greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Radha is the mistress of Vrindavaneshwari Radha. So she is the mistress of Vrindavan. And Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, he is the master of Vrindavan. Life greatest wealth is Radha and Krishna, my eternal shelter. Okay. Mm. We'll begin with can someone say if my voice is audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, these
Yes.
are the
Okay, thank you. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं। परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम। So now we were just discussing, we saw um, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ramananda Roy. Sarvam Bhattacharya told that Ramananda Roy is very imbued um, um, in Krishna Tattva. So please meet him. I could not understand him when I first met him, but now I can understand that he is a pure devotee of Krishna. So please give him your association. So, in the first place, Mahaprabhu met Ramananda Roy, but because Ramananda Roy came in a palanquin and there were many Brahmanas, they embraced and wept tears of ecstasy. But when he is standing on end, when the Brahmanas saw the ecstatic symptoms, they felt uncomfortable. So um, both Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu subsided their ecstatic symptoms. Um, but then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Roy that let's meet in the evening and discuss about Krishna. So that's what devotees do when they come together. They discuss about Krishna. So in the evening they departed, and in the evening they met again. And then um, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy started discussing in a secret place, secluded place. So there Prabhupada writes that um, the discussion about Radha and Krishna should not be done in public, but only amongst very sincere devotees of the Lord. Um, so this is something that we discussed. We stopped here, that this tattva should be discussed among sincere devotees of the Lord. So this is the purport continues. This is about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He taught the principles of bhakti cult to students like Sanatan and Rupa. So he told Rupa and Sanatan how to make progress. That's why Rupa Goswami is Abhidaya in charge. Raghunath Das Goswami is Prayojan, and Sanatan Goswami is Sambandha. So first we want to know who am I, who is Krishna, and what is my relationship with Krishna. And then Prayojana is what is the goal. Goal is based on Sambandha Gyan. When Sambandha Gyan is not clear, then we forget the goal. Sambandha means okay, I am spirit soul, body is temporary, I am eternal, and I am part and parcel of Krishna. Prayojana is love of Krishna. So goal of life is to attain that prema, Krishna prema, that love of Krishna. And then Abhideya, how to attain it. Vidhi Marg, Rag Marg, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. That all is enunciated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the principles of bhakti he told to Rupa and Sanatan. And he discussed with Ramananda Roy the topmost devotional dealings between Krishna and the gopis. That he discussed with Ramananda Roy. Some of it we will see today. It's a long conversation. There are 300 verses conversation between in this chapter. Sri Chaitanya, among them 200 verses is just a conversation, keeps going deeper between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. So he discussed with them the deep interaction between Krishna and the gopis, the devotional dealings. For the general populace, he performed Sankirtan very vigorously to people in general. He would tell, say everyone, chant the holy name of Krishna, but he would not go in deep rasa. We must follow, we must also follow these principles in preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. So we should have discrimination. To whom we are speaking what we should speak, what we should not speak, that discrimination we should learn from the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. प्रभु कहे पढ़ श्लोका साधिरा निर्णया राया कहे Swadharma Charane Vishnu Bhakti Haya. So now is the beginning. This is the first verse. The beginning of interaction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. Naresh Prabhu just came back from India, so just for the flow, we are discussing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and after taking sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri. From Jagannath Puri, he wanted to give mercy and give love of God to everyone in South India. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told all his devotees that I want to find my brother. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother was Vishwarup. He took sannyas and he left earlier. So, but he already left up word. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot say that I am going to South India to deliver the fallen souls because he came in the mood of a devotee. So instead, he is telling that I am going to search my brother because otherwise nobody will let him go. So that's how he started South India tour. And on the way, he met a personality called Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy is actually Vishaka Sakhi in Golok Vrindavan, Vishaka. So this is a conversation between Radha Krishna and Vishaka Sakhi. And Vishaka Sakhi is very imbued with Tattva. So now there will be a deep Krishna Katha. So this is the beginning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begins by saying, Parashloka Sadhyera Nirnay. Recite the verse from the revealed Parashloka. Recite a shloka um, from the revealed scriptures concerning the ultimate goal of life. Sadhyera Nirnay. What is the goal of life? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking. Ramananda Roy said, Swadharma Charane Vishnu Bhakti Hoy. If one executes the prescribed duties of his social position, he awakens his original Krishna consciousness. So Mahaprabhu said, what is the goal of life? Tell me a shloka. And Ramananda Roy said, well, the goal of life is to practice Varna Ashrama. So Varna is social order and Ashrama is spiritual order. It is described by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita that Varna Ashrama is established by Sri Krishna himself. So Varna is um, um, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These are Varnas. We have certain nature. Prabhupada says they are in the purport, long purport. Those who want to lead, they are Kshatriya by nature. Those who want to study and give knowledge are Brahmana by nature. Those who want to do business, cow protection, they are Vaishya by nature. And those who help everyone else, they are Shudra by nature. So Brahmana, so these are four varnas. Based on one's nature, one should act accordingly. And ashrama is where Krishna is in the center. Brahmachari ashram, grahastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. So naturally Krishna is in the center. That's why it's ashram. Otherwise it becomes mat medhi, griha medhi, like that. So when one follows one's ashram and varna for the sake of pleasure of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, those who remember Shav Evai Kevalam, if the duties in varna and ashram are not performed to please Krishna, then one is simply wasting one's life. Shram Evai is Kevalam means he is uselessly wasting his life. Because life will go and life will be over and death will come. But what will go is how much bhakti we have rendered. That's all that will go with us. Everything else is just to live in this world. So when one does that, then one will become attracted to Lord Vishnu. These are instructions from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Prabhu kahe, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eho bhaiya aage kaha aar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eho bhaiya, this is external. Varnashram is external. Aage kaha aar. Tell me something more. Raya kahe, Krishna karmarpana sarva sadhya sar. So then Ramananda gave another higher principle. He said, Krishna karma arpana is whatever you do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Karma arpana. You arpan all the activities and the results of activities for the pleasure of Sri Krishna. Sarva sadhya sar. That is the essence of all perfection. So the Lord replied, this is external. You had better tell me of some other means. Tell me something higher. Ramananda Roy to said to offer the results of one's activities to Krishna is the essence of all perfection. Somehow I'm having very difficult time to speak. I don't know. So this is in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, "Yat karoshi yad asnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam." This we know from 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Ramananda Roy continues. So he quoted a verse. So with everything he says, he quotes a verse. So the verse I quoted, Chaturvarna Maya Shishtam, that's the word he quoted for Varnashram. Then he came forward. 18th chapter also, Krishna says, again he brings back Varnashram and he says, practicing the principles of Varna and Ashram for the pleasure of Krishna will help one attain perfection. These are all true, but they are different recommendation for different levels of devotees at different level of advancement. So then he says, Karma Arpana, surrender all your work to Krishna. So here Ramananda Roy quoted this verse. Krishna says to Arjuna, O dear son of Kunti, whatever you do, yat karosi, yad asnasi, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, whatever austerities you perform, all the results of such activity should be offered to me, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is another level. Is okay. Um, 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 just try to center your life and do whatever you like to do, but try to add me there. Prabhupada used to say, just bring Krishna in the center in your life. So this is Prabhupada's purport. Ramananda Roy first enunciated the principle of Varnashram Dharma in consideration of materialistic people. However, this conception is not transcendental. Varnashram Dharma is within the three modes. The system of Varnashram refers to three modes of material nature. We know Brahmana is goodness, Kshatriya is goodness and passion, Vaishya is passion, ignorance, Shudra is ignorance. So Varnashram is not a transcendental system. Now, people are in three modes, then all right. Now, here is something for you. You are in three modes. You be in three modes, I mean, cannot artificially transcend. So, bring Krishna in the center, use your nature, and keep Krishna in the center and serve Krishna according to your nature. So, that's Varnashram. And now, okay, now you try to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर है संग गोलोकेरा प्रेमद गोलोकेरा प्रेमाधना हरि नाम संकीर्तना रतिना जन्मीला के नेथाया. This state that Sankirtan movement has nothing to do with this material world. It is imported from spiritual Golok Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want to hear something transcendental. So Ramananda Roy is telling about three modes, one ashram, and you do whatever you want to do, offer results to Krishna. Mahaprabhu want Ramananda Roy to speak deep tattva. So Prabhupada says one ashram and Yat Karosya Dasnasi still in three modes, because one is performing activities according to three modes, but just surrendering the results to lesser or higher degree. One is for the pleasure of Krishna, one is surrendering everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Lower and higher degree still in three modes. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to give Golokera Prematana Harinam Sankirtan. The Sankirtan movement is transcendental, it is beyond. प्रभु कहे ए हो भाया आगे कहा आर Raya kahe Swadharma Tyag A Sadhya Sar. So Ramananda Roy is gradually progressing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says surrendering all the results to Krishna. This is also external because you are attached to your work. You are just giving results to Krishna, but you like to do what you like to do. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this is all in three modes. Eho bhaiya, aage kaha. Tell me something deeper, Ramananda Roy. And Roy said, Sarva Dharma Tyag. Okay, abandon all your duties. Sarva Dharma Tyag. Ei Sadhyasa. That is the perfection of religion. No material activities. Only Krishna activities. This is also external. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please proceed and speak further on this matter. Ramananda Roy said, to give up one's occupational duties in the Varnashram system is the essence of perfection, is to just abandon all the Varnashram system. That is even higher. So we see If you remember, Raghunath Das Goswami says in Manasiksha, na dharmam na adharmam, is no need to follow dharma and adharma and anything. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that is true when one has attained a state of perfection. Then one can give up dharma and adharma. If one prematurely give up dharma and dharma, then that will create a great havoc. And that's what Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna wants to abandon his duties. Then Krishna says, but then you will meditate and you'll become a mithyachari. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that artificial should not be done. But since we are speaking of principle, it will go very deep. So something Prabhupada says, a Brahmana may renounce his family and take sannyas. Like Srila Prabhupada did, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, Bhaktivinoda Thakur did. So there are many such examples. The six Goswamis, they also took the renounce order, may not be specifically sannyas. So a Brahmana may renounce his family and accept sannyas. Such renunciation is called karma tyag. By such renunciation, Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied. So Prabhupada further says, then we'll discuss. In contrast, the process of renouncing the results of one activities by offering this result to Krishna, which is karma arpana, is not considered uncontaminated. It's not considered uncontaminated because there is still some contamination. Why? Because although such a process implies that one recognizes Krishna as a supreme Lord, it still involves one in activities on a material platform because one is still engaged in materialistic activities. The activities are still material, although the results are offered to Krishna. So one is a materialistic personality. Okay, you follow one ashram, then there is a devotee, then you follow Krishna Arpana. Karma Krishna, Karma Arpana is you surrender the results to Krishna. Then the third is you don't engage in any materialistic activities itself. You just engage in devotional service with the results to Krishna. So Prabhupada says this is good because at least the work is centered around Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, um, then he quotes a verse, Ramananda Roy, to validate his point. He says, quoting Shrimad Bhagavatam, Yada yasyanu Bhagavan Atma Bhavita Sa Jahati Matim Loke Vedacha Parinishtitam. When one actually takes to loving service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gives up all duties in material world. When one takes to loving service to Krishna, then he does nothing else other than loving service to Krishna. So he gives up all duties in material world as well as all duties prescribed in Vedic literature. In this way, one is fixed in the service of the Lord, completely fixed in the service of the Lord. Like we have all the spiritual masters completely fixed in the service of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, and we have many devotees in Grahasthashram also, only fixed, always fixed in the service of the Lord. Like the many spiritual masters, Sankarsana Das Adhikari Prabhu, Kalakanta Prabhu, Vaishashika Prabhu. But then they have attained perfection at that point of time. Now, um, at that point of time, one can engage 10% in the service of the Lord. That's Vanaprastha in our in yeah. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reply. So three levels have done. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reply is Eho Bhaya. Mahaprabhu said this is also external because whether one is in a Grahastha ashram or one is a sannyas or brahmachari ashram, this is all external designation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eho Bhaya, aage kaha aar. Tell me something more. Go deeper, Ramananda Roy. Raya kahe Jnana Mishra Bhakti Sadhya Sar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu question is, tell me the goal of life. What is the essence? And many levels Ramananda Roy is going. And then Ramananda Roy goes to the next level and he said, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, that is the perfection of life. If you do bhakti imbued with knowledge. Imbued with knowledge means there is impersonalism there. Imbued with knowledge. After hearing Ramananda Roy speak in this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again rejected his statement and said, go ahead and say something more. Ramananda Roy then replied, devotional service mixed with empiric knowledge is the essence of perfection. And then Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. This Brahma Bhuta is the stage of Brahman realization. Brahman realization is like impersonal effulgence realization. So there Krishna says in the 12th chapter when Arjuna asks, should I worship you impersonally, should I worship you personally? Then Krishna says both will help you attain perfection, because perfect, more perfect, most perfect, all three are spiritual by nature. But then Krishna says the means for Brahma Bhuta realization is Shastra, mental speculation, seeing everyone on an equal level, lot of speculation basically. So Ramananda Roy continued, according to Bhagavad Gita, one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. Brahman is also Krishna's effulgence. So one becomes completely joyful if one attains Brahman realization. He never laments or desires to have anything, because um, lamentation and desire is actually kama, lust. All material desires comes under lusty desires. So he neither laments nor desires, because he is self-satisfied, situated in Brahma Bhuta platform. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. In that state, he attained pure devotional service unto me. So this stage is also great. Brahma Bhuta stage is great. But and in that stage, one can start rendering pure devotional service, because pure devotional service means no material contamination. Any material contamination is there, it will become karma mishra bhakti. So there are two bhaktis. One is Karma Mishra Bhakti, one is Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and one is Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. Karma Mishra Bhakti means I am practicing devotional service, but I have some ulterior motives. I want to become famous. I want some attention. I want. So then our bhakti is imbued by fruitive results. I want something for myself. So I am cooking for Krishna, but I want to enjoy the food. So this becomes Karma Mishra Bhakti. So although it is bhakti, but it is not pure. Pure devotional service begins only after liberation, Prabhupada said. Jnana Mishra Bhakti also includes many varieties. Like what is Shuddha Bhakti? Rupa Goswami says, Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilana Bhaktir Uttama. So Rupa Goswami says, Anya Bilashita Shunyam, no other desire other than what pleases Krishna. But we are not on that stage. We don't think of what pleases Krishna. We think of what pleases me, where I am comfortable, what I want to do. And I will center that around Krishna. But it's not just what pleases Krishna, it's what pleases me. So that becomes Karma Mishra Bhakti. And Jnana Mishra Bhakti is um, 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 when I want to show my knowledge, gain knowledge for the sake of showing, that also becomes Jnana Mishra. Otherwise, Jnana Mishra is any conception of impersonalism. That becomes Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Um, um, Pure Bhakti is um, pure devotional service. It's like going deeper into Krishna Katha and Gaura Katha, chanting, crying out for mercy. The only goal, the only thing I want is I want to go back to Godhead. I want to awaken the love that is within my heart that I have lost. So this is pure bhakti, but mostly it's not the case. So then, okay, but practice Karma Mishra Bhakti, practice Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But Mahaprabhu will criticize this also, we know. So something from Prabhupada's purport. Um, in this verse, so they neither lament nor desire, because they are speculators. So any desire come and they think, no, this is not right. So this will lead me to suffering. This desire will incriminate me in karma bandhana, cycle of birth and death. So then they give up that desire, and then things don't go their way, so they don't lament also, because they think that, oh, um, um, this is not conducive, that's why it's not happening. So in they do a lot of thought processes, and it's not just purification of the heart, but it's lot of thought process. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam also says, um, that they think they are liberated, but they are actually not liberated. Vimukta mani nam, Shivan Bhagavatam uses the word, because it's the basis is speculation. The basis is not purity. So some seed still remain. That's the cause of their fall down again. That's why Brahmaji prays that that portion is not eternal, but it's much greater than just being a materialist. At least you are Brahmavadi now. So in this verse, this is from Prabhupada's purport. In this verse from Bhagavad Gita, it is said that a person who accepts the theory of monism, which is oneness, Brahman, being always engaged in empiric philosophical discussion about spiritual life, become joyful and is relieved from all material lamentation and hankering at some point of time. So Ramananda Roy says Jnana Mishra Bhakti is great. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu naturally uh, Prabhu kahe eho bhaiya. He said this is also external. So first is okay, you are on a material platform. Karma Mishra. Karma Mishra is material platform. Varnashram and Karma Arpanam is still Karma Mishra Bhakti. Because I am attached to material activity. So this Karma Mishra Bhakti. Higher than Karma Mishra Bhakti is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Okay, now I don't want to engage in any material activities, but just realize Brahman. Only that's my only goal. Only spiritual discussion. But higher than that is Shuddha Bhakti. So this is what Ramananda Roy says here. So this is the beginning of pure devotional service. प्रभु कहे एहो भाया आगे कहा आर राया कहे ज्ञान शून्य भक्ति साध्य सार. So then Ramananda Roy said Jnana Shunya Bhakti means Shuddha Bhakti. There is no element of gyan. Karma already rejected, because then you take a renounced order. So karma is rejected, and now jnana is also rejected. Jnana karma anavrita. Now these are both rejected. Sadhya sad. This is the goal of life. Is Shuddha Bhakti. After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it to be external devotional service. He again asked Ramananda Roy to speak further, and Ramananda Roy replied, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection. Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti. As soon as there is some conception of materialistic thought, Prabhupada says, positive or negative, any thought, the service is not spiritual. Actually, it is said, even at the stage of Nishtha, Ruchi, Ashakti, the mind is still material. The speculation goes on. Yeah, Chani, this it didn't go well with me. I don't like this. Why is this devotee telling this to me? How can this happen to me? This. So the mind is not spiritualized. So the mind is imbued with jnana and karma unavoidably. It is said so there will be positive and negative thoughts. So Shuddha Bhakti does not actually arise very easily. It is said that at Bhava stage, the mind becomes completely transcendental. The three modes does not act. As long as three modes are there, it's Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. One time, Jagat Guru Prabhu, I was talking to him, and he asked, can you practice Karma Mishra Bhakti? I said, no, Prabhu. He said, can you practice Jnana Mishra Bhakti? Jnana Shunya Bhakti? Can you become free of karma and jnana? No. So he said, then how can we practice Shuddha Bhakti? Uh, so then he said, Anushilanam. Anushilanam means you at least follow pure devotees. You follow the instruction of pure devotees. That's the means to attain pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means no other desire other than pleasing Krishna. Anya Bilashita Shunya. How can we come to the stage of Anya Bilashita Shunya? Zero desire other than pleasing Krishna. It's a highly advanced platform. So, okay, follow under guidance of great souls. Srila Prabhupada, and our spiritual master and our previous teachers. Then this is called Anukul um, Anushilana, and that will lead us to Anya Bilasitam Shunyam eventually. So Prabhupada says, as soon as there is some conception of materialistic thought, positive or negative, the service is not spiritual. It may be free from material contamination, even though there may not be much material desire, but because there is mental speculation, the mind is thinking of positive and negative thoughts. The devotional service is not pure. It's not purely imbued for the pleasure of Krishna. Um, the pure faith can arise, but pure devotional service, should the bhakti, will not arise. Pure faith means Krishna is the only goal of my life. Um, I cannot get anything by karma and jnana. So that pure faith will arise sooner. Pure bhakti will come after a long time. Pure devotional service. In fact, Prabhupada says pure devotional service begins after liberation. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. Then pure bhakti arises. And it is that pure bhakti that pleases Krishna. Um, but because there is mental speculation in devotional service, there is mental speculation that devotional service is not pure and free from the contamination of material life. So I'm talking about myself. The life is material, but okay, it may be Krishna Arpana, it may be whatever. It's just endeavor to become pure. But there are all kinds of material desires. प्रभु कहे एहो हाय आगे कहा आर yeah now say something. So as soon as Ramananda Roy said he rejected karma through one ashram karma arpanam and sannyas sarva dharma parityaga and rejected jnana mishra bhakti, he came to jnana shunya bhakti and shuddha bhakti. And then Mahaprabhu is like becoming little agreeable. He said, "Eho hi, aga kaha ar." He said, "Okay, this is right. Now you are getting there. But say that now go deeper. Ah, aage kaha ar." That is all right, but still you can speak more on the subject. So now he doesn't say "Ehi bhaya" because this is not bhaya because this is pure devotional service. So it's not external, it's not influenced by three modes, but it is not the highest also. Ra, Raya kahe prema bhakti sarva sadhya sar. Now we are getting into the topic of today. So Ramananda Roy then replied, ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the essence of all perfection. Prema bhakti sarva sadhya sar. This is the goal of life, is to attain prema bhakti for Krishna, just beyond all materialistic activities. Ecstatic love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. This first stage is technically called sadhana bhakti or devotion service in practice. The result of sadhana bhakti must be ecstatic love. At this point of time, one has already attained prema bhakti. So the discussion beyond this is beyond us because we are in the beginning stage only. Karma, arpana, and varnashrama. This is where we stand. But in 4 verses, Ramananda Roy already crossed prema bhakti. Rest 200 verses are in transcendental platform only. So the first stage is technically called sadhana bhakti, which where we are in is sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti can be vidhi or rag, but they both come under sadhana bhakti. But this prema bhakti is prema, bhava and prema. So it's the last stage of what we are thinking. After that, it goes deeper. So the result of sadhana bhakti must be ecstatic love. What is the goal of sadhana? Become pure. What is the goal of sadhana? Is sadhana is what we are doing. Sadhya is goal. So sadhana, goal of sadhana is sadhya. Goal of sadhana is sadhya. Um, um, the sadhya is prema bhakti. Um, okay, the result of sadhana bhakti must be ecstatic love. We practice out of rules and regulations, and then we become ecstatic, hearing and chanting. So that is the goal. In we chant in love, attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is called prema bhakti. Okay. Um, so I will directly read the verse Ramananda Roy quotes. Ramananda Roy continued, as long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach, varieties of food and drink make one feel very happy. So when there is hunger and then we eat, we become happy. And when there is thirst and we get um, some some lemonade, then we become happy. So when there is hunger and thirst, then varieties of food and drink makes one feel happy. Similarly, when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart of a devotee. Just like when there is hunger and you eat samosas, you feel happy. When there is thirst, you eat shikanji, you feel happy. And likewise, when there is um, service done with pure love, out of attachment to Krishna, then um, then the heart becomes nourished. Um, transcendental bliss is awakened in the heart. Anything done out of out of love for Krishna, out of gratitude, then the heart becomes heart drive great joy. Like you make a garland, suppose, and you make a garland because I want to offer this garland to the Lord, uh, because there is some affection for the Lord. I want to please Him. It's not just vidhi. It's not just, my duty is to make garland, so let me make garland. That's one thing. Then there won't be much bliss in the heart there. But if it is like, I want to offer a garland to Krishna, I want to see Him in a garland. So when there is pure love, then or what to the extent there is love, to that extent one derives transcendental bliss. So whether it is hearing, chanting, or seva, it's relatively easier to express love through seva, physical activity, because first comes bodily engagement and the second comes mental engagement. First is physical nishtha, then comes mental nishtha. Physical nishtha, like you make a garland, or you dress the deities, or you cook for their lordship, or you bathe them. You do something not just out rules and regulations, because you want to serve them. You want them to look very beautiful. You want them to have a very nice prasadam, very nice bhoga. So when it's done out of some affection, you will derive transcendental bliss. Likewise, when chanting is done out of love, then you will derive bliss there also. Um, um, how much bliss we derive in Krishna consciousness based on how much love we have with which we do devotional service. Just vidhi, just out of rules and regulation needs to be done. I must do it. Um, 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 that may not give that much nourishment compared to okay, Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam यदि कृतोपि लभ्यते तत्र लौलम अपि मूल्यम एकलम जन्म कोटि सुकृति न लिप्यते. This is okay. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of life. Janma koti sukriti na labhyate means if you practice sukriti, pious activities, good activities, you are doing good to others, that kind of things. Janma koti, koti means millions, crores, millions of birth, you practice piety, na labhyate. You will not get um, pure devotional service by any kind of pious activities. Then how can I get pure devotional service? Tatra laulam api mulyam ekalam. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is intense greed to obtain it. You want pure devotional service. When the greed, the transcendental greed awakens, that is the price we have to pay. Not good activities for millions of lifetimes. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. So it is said that if there is pure devotion service, run for it. Whatever price you have to pay for it, whatever effort you have to pay for it to get pure devotional service, run for it and grab it. Pay the price, whatever it is, grab it. And to grab it, a greed is required. I want to advance. I want to make progress in my Krishna account. The greed is required. Um, Okay. And piety will not give us pure devotional service. The first is devotional service rendered in accordance with regulative principles. Okay, chant 16 rounds because um, it's a regulative principle. Srila Prabhupada wanted it. So this is first is devotional service in accordance with regulative principles. The second refers to spontaneous loving service of the Lord without extraneous endeavor. Then, as you do it, then you come to the platform of spontaneous loving service without extraneous effort. Now you are not chanting 16 rounds because it needs to be done, but because you like to do it, but because you have some attraction in chanting. So this attraction will come to the extent we receive Krishna's mercy. To that extent, attraction will come. The more attraction will come, we will go We will transit from regulation to spontaneous. Regulation means just keep doing. Even if I don't feel anything, I feel very empty. Do it, do it. And spontaneous means no, I love doing it. I want to do it now more and more. I want to go deeper. So now there is some level of mercy that we are receiving from Krishna. Henceforward, so Prabhupada says from here onwards, the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy, the basic principle underlying the talk between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy will be spontaneous loving service to the Lord. So in the first four verse only, where we are taking lifetimes, first four verse only, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is external, go ahead, and he rejected everything. Mahaprabhu came to give, spontaneous devotion, pure devotion. So Mahaprabhu want to go at that level. So Prabhupada says from this point onwards, the discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy is spontaneous loving devotion. That's where Sakya Ras, Dasya Ras, Madhurya Ras, they all will come. Now all the talks of Golok Vrindavan only. The regulatory principles, according to the injunction of Shastra, are necessary, then shouldn't I directly go there? So Prabhupada says it's necessary. Regulatory principles is chanting 16 rounds, following four regulatory principles is necessary. How long? Insofar as one's original dormant Krishna consciousness is not spontaneously awakened. If we are not spontaneous, if spontaneous devotion, strong attraction to Krishna has not yet awakened, then chant 16 rounds and follow four regulated principles as a means of doing it. That thing will attract Krishna's mercy. Render some service in the temple. That will attract Krishna's mercy. That mercy will help us transit and develop taste, and and will help us purify our heart. As we become fully pure and the taste is awakened, then we make a transition to spontaneous, and then we can go into the tattva that we are going to discuss now. प्रभु कहे एहो हाय आगे कहा आर Raya kahe dasya prema sarva sadhya sar. So after rejecting karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti, um, um, and Jnana Shunya Bhakti, which is pure devotion, then Mahaprabhu said, yeah, tell me something more. Pure devotion is wonderful. Tell me something more. Then Ramananda Roy is going to, he says, Dasya Prema Sarva Sadhyasa. The goal of life is to become a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. We are eternal servant of Krishna. So what is the goal of life? Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy said to become a servant of Krishna. Dasya Prema Sarva Sadhya Sa. Dasya Prema is more deeper than just Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti can be in Vaikuntha planet also, but once you go to Goloka and then there is Dasya and further. So Dasya Prema is another level. Then there is Sakya and then there is Vatsalya and then there is Madhurya. Like that it grows. So hearing up to the point of spontaneous love, the Lord said, that is all right. But if you know something more, please tell me. Ramananda Roy said, spontaneous loving service in servitude. Um, mm, as exchanged by master and servant is the highest perfection. Spontaneous devotional service can also be I'm just feeling a taste. And in servitude means um, you are actually following a servant of Krishna. So that's another level. Is And there is taste, but then there is a rasa is coming here now. Now it's not just I like doing it, I have attraction for it, but there is a rasa, which is dasya ras at this point of time. So bhakti imbued with rasa of dasya bhav, that is. So naturally it will please. So dasya bhav, this is Yamunacharya, Ramananda Roy quoting Yamunacharya. Ramananda Roy, this is um, Yamunacharya quoted. Yamunacharya quoting Ramananda Roy quoting Yamunacharya. Yes. By serving you constantly, one is free from all material desires. So when one serves Krishna constantly, one becomes free from material desire. The material desire arises when we want to serve ourselves naturally. But when we are fully absorbed in serving Krishna, one becomes free from material desire and is become completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master? When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant? So Yamunacharya is praying, when shall I engage as your servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master? Everyone is serving somebody, everyone is serving under somebody, but how, what a great fortune it is when the master is Krishna, when he is such a loving, joyful, playful, caring, um, um, merciful master. So Yamunacharya is telling, when will I serve under you, O Krishna? Predicting Dasya Bhav. प्रभु कहे एहो हया किच्छु आगे are. Then the Lord, they said, this is very nice. Eho haya, this is all right. Eho haya means, actually he doesn't say this is very nice. Eho haya means this is all right, this is good, this is right. Kichu आगे are, tell me something more. Raya kahe sakhya preme sarva sadhya sar. The goal of life is to become friend of Krishna. Shavana Kirtana Vishnu Smarana Pada Sevana Archana Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam. After Dasyam comes Sakyam. So becoming a friend of Krishna. Hearing this from Ramandara, the Lord again requested him to go a step further. In reply, Ramananda Roy said, loving service to Krishna rendered in fraternity is the highest perfection. So Dasyaras is right. Okay, can you tell me something more? Yes, to become a Sakha of Lord Krishna. That is the goal of life. As long as loving service is rendered to the Lord in the master servant relationship, there is some fear. Prabhupada says, the servant always wants to make sure that the master is happy. He doesn't want to displease the master because in the servant relationship. So he has fear of displeasing master. Likewise, we serve our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada in the mood of servant, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a mood of servant, in a way that we don't want to displease our spiritual master. We want to perfectly follow the instruction. So likewise, even Dasya Bhav with Krishna, they have a fear that they don't want to displease Krishna. So there is some inhibition there. But at the same time, it's all Prema Bhakti. Dasya onwards, everything is Prema Bhakti, but there is some fear still there. But when a devotee is still further advanced, he has nothing to fear. He considers the Lord and himself on an equal level. Sakhas do not have fear. Um, um, Pattarak is suppose one of the servant of Krishna. He has fear while fanning Krishna. Am I pleasing Krishna? Madhumangal does not care if he is pleasing Krishna. He just blasphemes Krishna, says Krishna, makes joke with Krishna. So the love is further higher. So we, there is certain love, like those of you, you may relate, like there may be somebody who is working under you. They are like, they're like dasyaras, and maybe your classmate or somebody who is your friend, so you are more free with them. So there is greater amount of love there. So when a devotee is further advanced, he has nothing to fear. He considers Lord and himself on an equal level. At such a time, the devotee is fully convinced that Lord Krishna is a friend and cannot at all be dissatisfied if the devotee lives with him on an equal level. um, and cannot at all be dissatisfied if the devotee. So, Sakyaras, they don't have that fear that I may displease Krishna. He knows that he is my equal. So they may fight with him, they will do all these things. So that is even higher than Dasyaras. Prabhu kahe, eho uttam, aage kaha aar. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, this is good. So far he said, this is external. Three modes rejected. Say something. Dasya bhav. Prema bhakti, dasya bhakti. This is right. Tell me something more. What about Sakya Eho Uttama? This is great. Actually, I heard Bhakti Jaru Maharaj said, who those who are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will end up either in Sakya Ras, Vasalya Ras, or Madhurya Ras. One of the three. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eho Uttam. Aage kaha aar. He said, oh, this is good. But tell me something more also. Raya kahe vatsalya prema sarva sadhya sar. So Ramananda Roy said, yeah, to become like a parent of Krishna, like Mother Yashoda, like Mother Rohini, like Nanda Baba, that is the goal, the essence of the goal of life. The Lord said, this statement is very good, but please proceed even further. Ramananda Roy then replied, loving service to the Lord in the parental relationship is the highest perfection stage. In the fraternal relationship, there is a sense of equality, but when the sense of equality is advanced in affection, one attains the platform of parental love. So there is an equal relationship in a friendship, in a as a friend. You can say anything like that. But in parental, there is even greater amount of affection than a friend. Just like um, um, you have a friend, the friend your friend has lot of love for you, that's why he's a friend. But then your mother has way more love than the love your friend has for you. So vatsalya means if you go away, your friend may cry and then he'll forget, and then he will be somewhere else, and he's okay with that after some time. But mother keeps on calling you week after week, um, and when are you coming back? So the parental love is way more affection there. So Sakya itself is Uttam. Vasalya is also great Uttam. So um, one attains platform of one when one further advances, one attains platform of parental love for Krishna. uh, प्रभु कहे ए हो उत्तम, आगे कहा आह अमेजिंग, श्रीधर महाप्रभु सर उत्तम उत्तम ग्रेट, आगे कहा आह थोड़ा और बोलो, थोड़ा और आगे जाओ, टेल मी समथिंग मोर. राया कहे कांता प्रेमा सर्व साध्या सा. um, Now coming to Kanta means conjugal, Madhurya, Shringar, Ujjwala Rasa. These are different names of Kanta Rasa. The Lord said, your statements are certainly getting better and better, one after the other. But surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow. But you can speak of that as the most sublime. But you can speak of that as the most sublime. So basically, he said, okay, um, आगे कहा आर, say something more. This is amazing. You're getting better and better. Now tell me something more. What is the goal of life? Ramananda Roy said, conjugal attachment for Krishna is the topmost position in love of Godhead. If one can have the conjugal attachment for Krishna, that is the best. Now, this is something Prabhupada says. Again, he is comparing Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, and Madhurya Bhav, and Dasya Bhav. In general, love of God is devoid of the intimacy of ownership. Um, in the case of love in servitude, there is want of confidence. So when someone is in Dasya Bhav, then they want some confidence, like they want to make sure that the master is pleased. So when the master reciprocates by a smile, then they get some confidence. Yeah, he is pleased. So they are looking for some confidence that their service is accepted and is pleasing to the master. Then there is a want of increased affection in fraternal relationship. But among friend, the friend they want some more affection from Krishna. There is a need there. Like Madhu Mangal Subal, they have lot of affection for Krishna, but a friend is looking for little more affection, little more affection. um, and even when this affection increases in the parental relationship, there is nonetheless a want of complete freedom. Wow, this is deep. Even when the affection increases and when one is parental rasa, vatsalya rasa, still there is a want of complete freedom. Mother Yashoda cannot do anything that she likes. There is a lack of complete freedom. Now, how do we understand this? Let me complete this line and then I will explain. However, when one becomes a conjugal lover of Krishna, everything lacking in other relationship is completely manifest. Now, lot of coming upcoming discussion, a good amount will be on conjugal rasa. So when one becomes a conjugal lover of Krishna, everything lacking in other relationship is completely manifest. So if there is confidence lacking, there is no confidence lacking in Madhurya Ras. There is no increasing of affection Madhurya Ras. It's topmost affection. And there is no want of complete freedom. In other words, Madhurya Ras is completely free to do whatever they like. Just for example, when Radharani is displeased, she just leaves Krishna. She just goes into the man. Mother Yashoda cannot do that. She cannot just go into the man. She always tries to scold Krishna somehow or other, bring Krishna to do what she wants her to do. There is in Madhurya Ras, it's complete freedom. Like you do whatever you like, and because in other words, it's how much we control Krishna by our love. Dasyaras, they control Krishna little. Sakyaras more. Vasalyaras control Krishna even more. And Madhuryaras control Krishna completely. Madhuryaras Krishna becomes like a puppet of Radharani. He will do anything, whatever she says. He hankers for that. So there is that much love she has that Krishna is completely controlled. So in that way also there is no need remaining in Madhurya Ras. So in that way also going increasing level to conjugal Kanta Rasa. Uh, किंतु यांद्रा ये रसा से सर्वोत्तमा ततस्थ hana vicharile achetanatama. It is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is best for him. Like if somebody is Sakya Rasna, when they feel about Vasalya Ras, they feel, I don't want it. They don't feel, but they feel like, I am satisfied being a friend of Krishna. I can't connect with Vasalya. I don't want to see Krishna like a son. And when person in Sakya Ras, when they see Madhurya Ras, they feel, no, I don't like this boy and girl intimacy. I don't like those kind of relationship. I just want to go around, joke with him, play with him, take the cows, and play with the basketball and volleyball and football and cricket. I don't know what all games. I play a lot of different games, and I just want to be with Krishna and play and frolic in the lands of Braja and be free, and he's my friend. So and then when someone in that mood, when they feel intimacy of Radha and Krishna, then they feel little awkward. No, 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 I don't feel like hearing that or supporting that. So the one in a particular rasa will be satisfied only in that rasa. So it is true that whatever relationship, and when a person in Vatsalya ras, when he hear about Sakya, I mean, all rasas are great, but he will have a lot more attraction towards Vatsalya ras. Like this Janmashtami, we had a discussion on little bit on Krishna Tattva. And one Mataji came and she said, Prabhuji, whenever we hear Vatsalya Bhav, as mothers, we naturally are inclined to serve Krishna as Vatsalya Bhav. I said, not necessary. There are so many mothers who want Krishna as Sakya or who want Krishna as Madhurya. So it will naturally awaken. Like one time, um, um, Vatsalya Rasa is like, treat Krishna as a son. So Krishna was trying to sleep and Krishna was not getting sleep. So it happened that time also. I mean, these are transcendental pastimes. Then Mother Yashoda came to Krishna and Mother Yashoda said, Kanaya, Kana, the whole Vraja is sleeping. Why is my blue boy only awake when the whole Vraja is sleeping? So uh, Krishna said, Maya, I'm trying to sleep, I'm not getting the sleep. Can you tell me a story? A bedtime story so I can sleep? And then Mother Yashoda said, yes, I will tell you a story. One time there was a king and a queen, and the name of king was Ram, and his wife, the queen, was Sita. So then Krishna said, oh Ram, Sita, Then Mother Yashoda said yes. And then his father banished him to the forest. Then both husband wife and his brother, whose name was Lakshmana, they went to Panchavati and they stayed there. And then during the last year, a demon named Ravana, he came and he abducted Sita. And Krishna immediately became excited and became concerned. Then Krishna got up from the bed. He was trying to got up. Lakshmana, hurry, hurry, bring my bow. We need to rescue Sita now. Bring my bow. And then Mother Yashoda, he went into the mood of Lord Ram. And then Mother Yashoda was surprised. So, someone in Vasalya has to really enjoy these rasas. Like Krishna coming and stealing butter in our home. Devakisha Prabhu wonderfully shared beautiful Vasalya ras pastimes. Just before midnight arti, those who heard various stories of Vasaleras. Another time, Mother Yashoda went and Krishna was again trying to sleep, and Krishna said, "Can you tell me a story?" And Mother Yashoda said, "Yes. One time there was a child like you, Krishna." And Krishna said, "Oh, who was that child?" And Mother Yashoda said, "His name was Prahalad." And Krishna said, Prahlad. So in that way, there is lot of loving exchange between Vatsalya ras. Those who are imbued in that ras, when they hear, actually the principle is hearing Krishna Katha. When they hear about Vatsalya ras, they feel, wow, this is so wonderful. And when they hear about Sakhya, Madhu Mangal, like there was a wonderful play of Sudama in our Janmashtami, that Sakhya ras. Sakhya ras. Oh, Sudama, my friend has come. So Krishna ran. And they just go and they do Go Charan Leela. They take care of the cows and the calves. And they milk the cows. And when they come back in the evening, then Madhu Mangal cracks some jokes and he plays some performances. And all the boys, they sit together and they smile. So just like friends. And Madhurya Ras is like, on the bank of Yamuna, on the bank of Radhakund, there are intimate relationship, Madhurya Ras. Um, so whichever rasa one is in, now naturally Krishna is all attractive. So all the rasas are attractive actually, but some rasa is really appealing to the heart more than the other. But we cannot decide at this point of time because it takes certain time and takes lot of realization. But then it will become stronger and stronger the more we hear about Krishna. So it is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is the best for him. Still, when we study all the different methods from the neutral position, we can understand that there are higher and lower degrees of love. Yes, whatever devotee, whatever rasa the devotee is in, for him that is the best rasa. But if you see from a neutral perspective, then there is higher and lower degrees of love. When one is completely free from material attachment, the feeling of the transcendental mellows are awakened in the heart of a devotee. This is Swarup Siddhi, the perfection of one's eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada says, by the practice of chanting 16 rounds and following regulative principles, sharing the message of Krishna with others, um, one becomes free from material attachments. Material desires will go down. And then the feeling of rasa will awaken, transcendental mellow. The feeling will arise. I want to serve Krishna like a friend. I want to serve Srimati Radharani, or I want to serve like Mother Yashoda. Now, naturally, they go from um, confidential to more confidential to most confidential. So Sakyaras is confidential in a way that those who are very sincere devotees, when they hear, they feel good about it. It's confidential, but it is more difficult to speak about Vasalyaras. Is more confidential, and Madhurya is most confidential. It is most difficult to speak because the confidentiality of those leelas are too high. So once material attachments, one become free from material attachments to the extent one become free, the feeling of the mellow rasa are awakened in the heart of a devotee. That is called Sarup Siddhi, the perfection of one's eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. These mellows cannot be compared with the feeling one derives from demigod worship. So Prabhupada says, sometimes people say that I worship Shiva and I worship Durga, and I feel very connected with them, or I really like this demigod. Prabhupada said, the feeling you get from your natural tendency to serve Krishna in a particular rasa, mellow, that cannot be compared to the feeling one derives from demigod worship. Krishna is one and demigods are different. They are material. Demigods are material. Love for Krishna cannot be compared to material love for different demigods. There is no comparison. So many times Prabhupada purports are incidental also at that point of time. Okay. To explain the topmost quality of conjugal love, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami gives the example of material elements. So these are all verses, but here is a summary, like 7 8 verses, and Prabhupada summarized them. So this is a summary. So Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami um, is trying to explain the the supremacy of Madhurya Ras. So Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami gives the example of material elements. Like those who don't appreciate much Madhurya Ras, this will help us understand. Sky, air, fire, water, ether. He says these are the 5 material elements. In the sky, space, there is a quality of sound. Similarly, in air, there is a quality of sound and touch. You can touch the air, you cannot touch the sky. Then there is fire. There is form. Air does not have a form. You cannot see the fire, but the fire has form. In water, there is taste also. You cannot taste fire, cannot taste air, cannot taste sky, but you can taste water. And earth, the smell is also there. Water, air, fire, sky, ether does not have a smell. Only earth has a smell. So as you see, as we go from um, sky, air, fire, water, ether, it's becoming more and more full. There are more and more elements added to it. Now, one can see that the quality of sky is in all. So the quality of sky is sound. So air also has sound, fire also has sound, water also makes sound, and earth element, when the rocks, um, there's a sound coming from earth element. So there are sound everywhere. So the quality of sky is there in all. Likewise, the quality of air, which is the unique quality of air, which is the sense of touch, it's not there in the sky, but um, uh, it's there in fire, water, and earth, in that way. Okay. In earth, we can find all the qualities of material nature. The same can be applied to a rasa known as Madhurya Rasa or conjugal love. In conjugal love, there are the qualities of neutrality, servitorship, fraternity, and parental affection, as well as those of conjugal love itself. The conclusion is that through conjugal love, the Lord is completely satisfied. Why conjugal love is topmost? Because conjugal love completely satisfies Krishna. Why? Um, Now, conjugal love has sakyaras. So the amount of what a friend can do to Krishna, a Madhurya Ras can do to Krishna also. The kind of care that Mother Yashoda shows to Krishna, Srimati Radharani shows equal or greater amount of care than Mother Yashoda also. And she shows greater amount of affection than Subal and Madhumangal also. And she acts as a better servant than Patrak and others. And there is also the intimacy, physical intimacy, which is a unique quality of Madhurya Ras. So all things are there in Madhurya Ras. That's why Madhurya Ras completely controls Krishna. Sakya control Krishna, but Madhurya Ras has friendship. So that much level of control is already there. Vasalya control is there. Dasya control is there. And unique Madhurya control is also there. So all the qualities are present in Madhurya. That's why it is so full and complete. Um, um, and the Lord is completely satisfied in that Madhurya Ras because all rasas are there. Prabhu kahe, ei sadhya vadi sunishchaya. Um, so now he said, this is certainly the limit of perfection. So when Ramananda Roy initially said, Sir, Varnashrama, Karma Arpanam, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, and the designation of a Grihastha or Brahmachari or Sannyas, Mahaprabhu said, this all external. Go something deeper. Prema Bhakti, yeah, go something more. Dasya, that is right. More. Sakya, Uttam. Then Vasalya, wow, Uttam, very nice. And Madhurya, oh, Sadhyavadhi. Now Sadhya means goal. Sadhyavadhi, so Nishchay. Nishchay means guaranteed. This is certainly the perfection. This is certainly the limit. Madhurya is certainly the limit. So Mahaprabhu is confirming that. Reply, this is certainly the limit of perfection. But please be merciful to me and speak more if there is more. So now expand it. This is certainly the perfection, the goal of life is Madhurya. Tell me something more on this. So then Ramananda Roy becomes surprised. Raya kahe, ihar aage puche he na jane, eta dine nahi jani, acha e bhuvane. Then Rai Ramananda Roy replied, until this day, I did not I did not know anyone within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service. Ramananda Roy says, so far nobody has asked me beyond this. People stop at Madhurya. You are the first personality who is asking me, tell me something more about it. Go beyond Madhurya. Beyond Madhurya? Yeah, tell me something more, not just Madhurya, something more, something above that also. Then Ramananda Roy was surprised, and then we see Ihara Madhye Radhara Prema Sadhya Shiromani Yahara Mahima Sarva Shastrithe Vakhani. Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramananda Roy continues, Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is the topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly esteemed in all revealed scriptures. So Ramananda Roy said, now Madhurya is very vast. There are gopis and there is billions of gopis. So above that is the love that Radharani has for Krishna. That is the highest epitome among Madhurya. So that goes even beyond Madhurya in a way. So Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is topmost. And it is esteemed in all the revealed scriptures. Yatha, maybe 10 more minutes, we'll discuss something about Radha's love for Krishna, and then we continue next week. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu, Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha, Sarva Gopi Saivaika Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. This from Padmapura. This we recite every day. This is a invocation prayer for Radha Kund also. So if you like, I don't know how many of you know, like Achman cup or Argya during Arati, we do Argya. So we offer water to Krishna, or we those who properly offer food, we do Om Astray Fat and we chant Om. So the water is purified water. So we purify the water by Gange cha Yamune chaiva Narmada Saraswati Godavari Sindhu Kaveri Jalisme Sandhim Kuru, where we invite Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Sindhu, Kaveri. We invite all holy rivers into the water. So the water becomes holy Tirtha, sanctified. And then we use that water for the service of the Lord. You can also make the water into Radha Kund water. Just like by through mantra you can invoke. You can invoke even Tulsi in the food through mantra. So likewise, by invoking Gange cha Yamne chaiva Narmada Godavari, Narmada Saraswati Godavari Sindhu Kaveri Jalyasmin Sannidim Kuru. By this mantra you invoke all the holy rivers in the water. And by this mantra, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopa Sarvaika Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. You invoke Radha Kund into the water. Your water becomes Radha Kund. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Sri Krishna, her bathing ghat, Kundam, Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnus. She's most dear. Likewise, Tatha Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha. Her bathing place is also dear to him. Sarva Gopishu Saivaika. Among all the gopis, Sarva Gopishu Saivaika, Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. The dearest is Srimati Radharani. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is supermost and very dear to Lord Krishna. In other words, just like among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is most dear to Krishna. Likewise, her Kunda, Radha Kund, is also as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. So the amount of love Krishna has for Radharani, he has the same love for Radha Kund. In fact, there are many pastimes where sometime when Radharani and same for Radharani. Radha Kund is very very dear to Srimati Radharani because it is her Kund. So there are stories when Radharani is in Man, um, um, upset with Krishna. Then Krishna goes to Radha Kund and Krishna prays to Radha Kund. So this is Radha Kund pastime. So Radharani is also sitting somewhere far away from Radha Kund. And Krishna goes to Radha Kund and prays, "What should I do? Please help me to resolve this conflict between me and her." So when Radharani sees that Krishna is praying to her Kund, then Radharani gives up her man and he becomes submissive again to Sri Krishna. So that shows the potency of praying to Radha Kund. One can pray to Radha Kund. By praying to Radha Kund, Radharani becomes very soft because it's very dear to Srimati Radharani. So this is from Padma Puran, which says this also shows that how, if somebody asks, how do we know among all the gopis, there are so many, how do we know if Radharani is the dearmost? So this is one verse. Sarva Gopi Saivaika Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. Srimati Radharani is dearmost among all the gopis. So many verses Ramananda Roy quotes glorifying the position of Srimati Radharani from Shastra, not just because we are worshipping Radha Krishna, but from scriptures. How do we suppose there is no temple of Radha Krishna and there are so many millions of gopis? How do we come to the conclusion about the position of Srimati Radharani? An Anaya Radhito no Nam Bhagavan Hari Ishvara Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Yam Anayad Raha. So this comes in Rasa Panchadhyay and the 5 chapters of 10th canto where um, 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 श्रीमन्रासरसारम्भे वंशीवतततस्थितः कर्षणवेणुसुने गोपीनाथ Nah, where on the day of Sharad Purnima, Krishna came and stand under the Vamsivata in Vrindavan. Um, and then he played his flute, and all the gopis, whatever they were doing, they left everything. Their household affairs, taking care of children, taking care of cows, taking care of husband, boiling the milk, dressing, bathing. They just forgot everything, and they just rushed. They rushed to give pleasure to Krishna because they know that Krishna called for them. So they just rushed to give pleasure to Krishna, and when they all came, then Krishna said, "Why are you here? And you all should return." Gaura Rupa Nishivanath. There are many. This is dangerous forest. There are many tigers here, and the best dharma of chaste woman is to serve the husband, and the husband and everybody would be searching for you. And if they come here in a dead of a night, you are with another young man. It doesn't look good. So I think you all should return immediately. So all the gopis started crying tears, and then Krishna understood. And then there's a long conversation, and then Krishna fulfilled their desires by dancing with them. The rasa dance began, and then and the gopis felt very proud that finally the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of everything, Sarva Karana Karanam, is with me alone. Every gopi thought Krishna has left all other gopis and is with her alone. So when Krishna saw that they became proud, um, Krishna left, and then they Krishna left, and then they became very much in anxiety. So they started searching for Krishna. Where is Krishna? And then they sang a geet called Gopi Geet. Uh, um, Jayati Devi Kam Janmana Vraja. Beautiful song of separation, of lamentation. And then they noticed that and they were asking the trees, have you seen Krishna? Why did we thought like that? We are so fallen, we are so wretched, we are not worthy of Krishna's love. We could not give pleasure to Krishna. We became so imbued with ourselves. So they were condemning themselves. They were asking the trees, they were asking the monkeys, they were asking other animals, they were asking the creepers, they were asking the dust of Vrindavan, Chintamani, that have you seen the direction where Krishna went? Have you seen? Have you seen? Have you seen? And then they found out that they found out the footprints of Krishna, because Krishna's footprint contains, very special 18 marks of lotus is there, and chakra is there, and many other 18 symbols of lotus feet of Krishna. Sometime we can discuss just about the description of the symbols of lotus feet of Krishna and how to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna. So then they saw the lotus feet of Krishna, and then they also saw the lotus feet of another gopi, um, two lotus feet. Of one gopa and one gopi, Krishna and another gopi. And then the gopis were surprised. There were billions, and they were surprised that uh, um, this gopi certainly has pleased Krishna, because we billions Krishna left, but Krishna went with one gopi in hand. And after a certain point of time, they saw that the gopis um, footprint was missing. So they understood that at this point of time, Krishna lifted that gopi in her hands. Um, so as at one point of time, Radharani said to Krishna that, I'm too tired. You're a cowherd boy. You go for Gaucharan whole day, but you know, I don't go so long with like you, and we are running. We have come so far. We're running for so long. I cannot walk anymore. Then Krishna lifted her up. So then only one footprint of Krishna. So when they saw, they were even further surprised. They were like, wow, what is the position of this one gopi? So Krishna wanted to make everybody realize that the position of Srimati Radharani. They should not think that we are just like Srimati Radharani. So that's why we want to serve Srimati Radharani, because through her we become dear to Krishna. That's the easiest way to become dear to Krishna. So there, the gopis sing this song in Ras Panchadhyay, sing this verse. Anaya Radhito Nunam. When the gopis begin to talk among themselves, so they begin to talk among themselves that, wow, who is this gopi? So they said, dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else. So now, if Radharani is not most dear to Krishna, why would Krishna leave everybody just with one special gopi, which is Srimati Radharani? So when Mahaprabhu is hearing these leelas from Ramananda Roy, uh, Mahaprabhu is like, Prabhu कहे आगे कहा सुनीते पाई सुखी सुखे. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, say something more. Sunite Pai Sukhe. I'm very happy to hear that. So, transcendental personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when they hear about these leelas, actually he would just hear about this all the time. So, आगे कहा सुनते पाए सुखे, uh, Apurva mrite nadi vahe tomara mukhe. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please speak on. I am very happy to hear you because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth. So before Mahaprabhu said, these are external, this is all right, this is Uttam. And now he's telling, wow, this is nectar flowing from your mouth, Ramananda Roy. Don't stop. Keep speaking. Keep speaking. So, um, and then we will, it's 8:44, we will also discuss further on on the tattva. So he speaks about Radharani, he quotes certain verses from Geet Govinda also, and then he speaks about Krishna and Krishna tattva. So very intimate participation discussion between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So that's all I think we'll discuss today. If there are any questions, we can take now. Okay, looks like no questions. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhu vacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavi namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavinda ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Dandat pranam Prabhuji and Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.